Welcome to another episode of Whitetail Rendezvous, coming to you 6 days a week as we interview whitetail experts and hear their traditions and personal stories of the hunt. Learn more about the latest gear, discover proven tips, and the latest strategies so you can make your next hunt a success. Now, here's your host, Bruce Hutchin.
Welcome to a special Gear Wednesday episode of Whitetail Rendezvous. I have Bryce Stone on the line today, and Bryce and I are going to be talking about the hunter sight. Now, Bryce is from the Houston area, has been hunting for over 30 years, and like a lot of you out there, you know, apps are big, digital is big, and Bryce looked at his properties and what he was thinking, and people were talking to him and said, you know, I'm going to create something that's going to help people manage their properties and then some. So, Bryce, welcome to the show today, and I'm excited to get started on our talk about the hunter sight.
Thank you, Bruce. I appreciate you having me on. I'm excited to be a part of your show. And so let's get started. Right here is the main...
Well, how did you start this? Before we jump into the app, you know, why did you start this? Let's get some backstory on why you started this.
Okay, so now I live in Houston. I don't get to hunt as much as I would love to. I could do it every day. And I hunt a lot of smaller properties that are about a 2.5-hour drive from where I live. So I wanted a platform where I could keep up with all my hunting activities at each property, and where I could kind of scout and plan from the house and figure out the best stand or property I should hunt each day. And I also like to grow food plots, and I put out supplementation, and I'm putting out some minerals this year. So I thought it would be kind of cool to keep records and track all of that. But the main idea kind of started with trail cameras and trying to pinpoint the best stand to hunt based on my trail camera footage. And most of the trail cameras just have a date and time stamp. And I would go through and look at that, but I felt like I was missing something. Like it was kind of sporadic here and there. I couldn't really pinpoint a pattern. And I didn't know what the historical weather was 2 weeks ago, a month ago when these pictures were taken. So I wanted to create a platform that could be a tool for hunters like me, where you can group your photos up into folders. Say you're going after a particular animal or buck. You could take your game camera, name it whatever you want, organize those pictures of that animal in a folder, and then the hunter site will basically show you the frequency that animal was at your camera based on the time of day, the wind direction, and the moon phase. And so you can kind of use those three criteria to figure out when you should hunt, you know, what stand you should hunt, or what property you should hunt, and give you the best chance. Because if you're like me, you only get so many hunts a year between family and work, and you just want to maximize, you know, your chances of success. And so the hunter site kind of started from that. And of course, when I dove into it, being obsessed like I am with hunting, I wanted to add all these extra other features as well. So I'll explain all that stuff later to you, Bruce.
Well, great. So with that background, who's this for? Somebody with 40 acres, 1,000 acres? You know, what's the application best suited for?
Well, Bruce, the application, the acreage amount really doesn't matter so much as the benefits really are for a private land hunter, though a public land hunter could utilize the game camera, game trend feature I just described. But most of the features here are geared for someone hunting private land, or at least hunting the same land over and over where they know the boundaries. This is not a phone app. It's not a satellite mapping GPS device. We do utilize satellite mapping, but It is more for organizing, planning, and scouting of land that you're already familiar with. It's not a GPS.
Well, let's get in. Let's get the 50,000 foot level, and in each section, give us some features and benefits and advantage, of that section of the app.
Okay, I'll log into a demo account here that any listener, if they want to check this out themselves, can get into. It is thehuntersitedemo@gmail.com is the username, and the password is demo 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8. Simple as that.
Okay, let's repeat that.
Okay, the username is thehuntersitedemo@gmail.com. The password is capitalized demo, DEMO, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8.
All right, folks. So just feel free to jump on and use it. And then how would somebody get a hold of you if they're interested in purchasing the product?
You can purchase the product online, or if you have additional questions, you can just email me at Bryce, BRYCE, @thehuntersite.com or info@thehuntersite.com. And then the packages are also online if you want to purchase. There is also a 14-day free trial version. If you sign up for that, you do have to wait for the 14 days to end before you can sign up for a package. You have access to all the features with that trial, except you can only upload 10 game camera pictures. So that is the hold on that, but at least allows you to see how it's used.
Okay, great.
So
what are we looking at now?
So this is a main page here of the demo account I created. Yours could look different. You can change the picture background of whatever you want. You can change this icon up here in your account page. And these properties here, this is your individual account. That is for you to manage your properties. You can have unlimited properties. You would simply just click add a property and then give it a name and create property. And then you see Big L Ranches here. And then these 6 icons are how you manage your property. These are the tools you can use. So to get started, you would just click the map.
Now let's go back to the main page because you had some trail camera pictures. Let's talk about that.
Okay. Let me go to the Hunter Site demo property.
There you go.
So, this is the main page. You can write notes for yourself. If you have work to be done coming up and you want to write a list of to-do list, you can keep that here. Or observations in the field you want to put, you can put that in your notes. This Hunt Club invite is people that you have invited and that have invited you to join their group management, and I'll explain that platform later. And then the shared photos, these are all pictures that have been shared to this Hunt Club right here, the Hunter Site Test. So when you're part of a group club, pictures that you share and people that share pictures with you will pop up down here below for you to look at.
Great. Thank you.
No problem. Now, the Hunter Site demo, we'll go through this real quick. The game photos that I described earlier, we'll just click on that first. It's this middle icon. Your cameras are added on your satellite map, and I'll explain that in a little bit. But you would choose your camera. There's 3 cameras on this property. You select a folder. This is just Deer Miscellaneous Test folder. It's just got random pictures. It's even got raccoons and squirrels and everything else. Typically, you would want to organize and pattern a specific animal when doing this, but this is just a test. So these are the pictures that are uploaded. You can share to a hunt club you belong to, like the Hunter Site Test is part of the group, and it's in this drop down. So I can share that picture. I can edit the picture here and change the date and time if the timestamp is wrong when I set that camera out. And then, of course, I can delete them. Now, when you're going to add a photo, you would just click here to add a photo. You can upload a SD card and group all your photos up. Here, let me see if we have some time to do this real quick. I'll just throw some random pictures in there so you can see how it works. If I wanted just the dates on this, say the month was wrong, I can just change it right there, adjust the date for all photos, save photo, and now we're looking up the historical weather. Okay, the pictures have uploaded. I go to the last page.
So basically, it just puts them into your file folder.
That's right.
And can you sort by date?
You can't sort by date. They automatically just upload by date in here. And when you want to actually use this for hunting, planning your hunts, you would click down here to Game Trends, select the camera, select the folder you have organized, and then you can select the date range that you want to do. So maybe you have 200 pictures of a buck from May to October, but you really only want to pattern September and October pictures. You don't care what he was doing in May or June or July or August. So you would just select this from and to date, and then it'll show your patterns here based on time of day, wind direction, and moon phase. And so here you can easily kind of see when he was most frequent at that game camera.
Now, it looks like pretty even distribution there. Time of day.
These are just random pictures of a deer feeder. So with
okay. It wasn't one buck, one specific buck.
It's not one specific buck or anything like that.
Okay. But that's the idea. So you get the frequency, then you get by wind direction, time of day, and what's the other one? Moon phase.
So most of this one has been a waning crescent moon here in the blue, 37% of the pictures. But you can select your date range for your pictures. But this is a tool for you to utilize. Basically, you're just organizing your pictures into a folder of what you're wanting to pattern, whether it is deer in general or a specific buck or a turkey or a hog, whatever it may be that you've got these trail cam pictures of, and you're wanting to figure out when that animal is most common at your camera, other than that date and timestamp that you can see when you're looking through your pictures. This does that for you. And so it'll just break it down by the time of day in 3-hour increments, the wind direction, and moon phase. When you're using this, we also have a 7-day weather forecast. So when you're sitting at home and you're trying to plan your upcoming hunt a few days out and you're going through your game cameras and your game trends, you can look through and see, okay, we have a southeast wind coming up when I'm going to get to go hunt. So I should check my game trends and figure out if there is a pattern with a south or southeast wind, and maybe that's the standing area I should hunt.
Well, that's smart. There's a correlation there, isn't there?
Yes, sir. So, all this is basically tools. This isn't going to kill an animal for you, but it can definitely help you. So this weather, it'll give you the barometric pressure, the wind speed, wind direction, chance of rain, sunset, sunrise, and of course the temperatures. And then if you keep up with nutrition like food plots, supplementation, or mineral sites, then this is also great for you. Because like for instance, here is food plots. If you want to add your food plot record that you planted, you could put summer mix, put the day you planted, how many pounds per acre, size of the food plot, fertilize, amount of fertilize, how successful you think this was. You can just enter a number when you're doing this record, and you can always go back and edit these records and change, and then you can write additional notes. And so like here's an example, fall mix, and then I broke it down: oats 25 pounds an acre, rye 15 pounds an acre, clover 10 pounds. So you can actually see all that. Here's the rating I gave it. Fertilize, none, the size. You can share these records. Simply click this little arrow share button, And then any hunt club you belong to would be in this drop-down list. There is only one hunt club that I'm a part of with this membership here that we're looking at, and it's the Hunter Site Test. So I can share that record. I can edit if I need to fix something. I mistyped or something was wrong, I can change it. And then, of course, I can delete these records. And so you can do that for food plots, supplementation, which would be like protein feeders, or if you put out alfalfa hay, or if you do cottonseed. It can be whatever you want. It doesn't necessarily have to be in a feeder. It's just marking a location of where you're putting out food. And then here are the records, like you give your feeder name. They're all right here. What you put in it, how many pounds, the date, and any additional notes like repair damaged fence panel, unclog the protein, repair the leg. You can share these again with the hunt club. You can edit these if there's a mistake, or you can delete them. And this is what a record would look like for supplementation. Your feeder, you add to your satellite map, which is this icon. There's 3 feeders on this, so you can just choose it, put in whatever feed it is, however many pounds, and add the record. And then it's right down here. So it's pretty simple. You can do that for minerals. You can put, was it a trace mineral, salt, or whatever mineral you're using. You can list it by pounds, or if it was just a big block. Write additional notes and the date you applied it. And here's what these records would look like. And of course, you can share them. You can edit or delete. And so that's kind of how that works. And then the feeder trends is just a side deal where if you're wanting to track how much protein you're putting out, this can do it. You can choose a feeder, choose a year, and it'll show you January through December, how many pounds, like April, 1,000 pounds, and then it shows it in a bar graph. I have, and it easily displays. That way, if you're wanting to kind of manage like how much this is costing you or what your deer like, you can compare your feeders. There's 3 feeders on the property. This is the total amount. You can select a time range to compare actually how much consumption you've had at each one. And you can compare different brands of protein or different types and see what your deer like. Again, I know some states don't allow this. It's just another tool in here for those that do that. And then the harvest section over here, this far bottom left icon, click on it, and this is how you can record all your kills on the property. When you enter in, you can click here to upload your grip and grin picture, choose what animal it was. If it's not one of these listed, just choose other, and then type it in. If you're one of those that keep up with the age structure of your animals, we have it listed from 1.5 to 8.5 years old. You put the date and the time you harvested, and if you have your stands located on your satellite map, they'll be here in this drop-down list for you, and you can just choose that. When you add your record, they pop up right here. We automatically add the weather for you when you put your date and time in. Based on your property location, we look up that historical weather. And so we just list it right out here next to it for you to easily to see. But these are what your records would look like. And of course, you can share these with the hunt club. You can edit if you need to change something or delete them. And then if you are one of those that are really wanting to keep up with the age structure of your bucks or your buck to doe ratio of what you've killed, you can go to Harvest Trends, and based on your records, we supply you with this information. You can do it by all years or individual years, and we'll show you from 1.5 to 8.5 years old the amount of bucks harvested at that age structure and the percent of your total. And then we display it in a bar graph. And then we also show in a pie chart your bucks versus does killed. And you can do it by individual years or all years. So all these tools you can use are your private. Only you can see this when you log in. This is your account. You can create unlimited properties, keep track of all this information. Now, if you're on a lease or you're an outfitter or a habitat consultant, deer game management consultant, game ranch, etc., or you just have a group of buddies or family or neighbors and you just would like to kind of share information or plan or improve your overall hunting for the area, you create a club. And let me go back to the main journal page. I can show you that. So you would create a club. You can give it a name, give it a description if you want. Oh, there's already one with that name. Yeah, you can't duplicate names. So on the hunter site, there will only be one club name that is named that. There can't be duplicates. So there, it's that easy to create it. We'll go to one already created that's kind of populated with different information so it's easier to understand. So the hunter site test, go in here. Now, this club group that we're looking at, we are a member of. I didn't create this group here. So I am not the admin of this group. And by that, I mean the look is a little bit different when you create a club versus when you're a member. And I'll show you the difference here later. I'll go to that. But from a member perspective, this is what it looks like. There are notes here. You're not allowed to type any of these notes. The admin of the group puts these notes here. The admin can make other members admins as well, so they're not the only one. And the admin can delete members of the group. As a member, if I want to leave the group myself, I can click Leave Hunt Club Permanently. It'll ask me if I'm sure, because that is leaving forever. But click Cancel. Of course, you can be invited again if you accidentally do it. They just send you another invite and accept. Not a deal breaker.
Now, is this what we're going to use for Deer Hunting Institute? Will that be pretty much?
Yes, sir. And your name will be right up here instead of the hunter site test. It'll be the Deer Hunting Institute, whatever you want to name it.
Right, the Deer Hunting Institute. And
then this club map, you can utilize or not for the situation. So this is just all these features you don't have to use. They're just tools for you to use. So you could separate if you were on a lease with guys and you wanted to break down everybody's little hunting area. You could color code it to make it easier to see. Like this is Doug's place, Bill's place, Robert's hunting area, Steve's.
Now, how many acres does that represent?
Let's hit measure. So it's 1,525, 2,147. So yeah. And then these are the markers here.
No, I didn't get how many acres.
Oh, the acres are right here. Click here and they're gone. So if you want to see them, you can just click it or take them off.
So that's a pretty big property.
Yes. This is a huge property. And again, this is a test property. I wish I had some land this size to hunt. I mainly hunt 20 acres to 60 acre size properties. Edit. If you wanted to erase something on the map that was a mistake, modify.
Well, let's go through the icons. Let's go through what the people are looking at. Just go through the icons. Okay,
so the icons. So to add those to the map, so like for a feeder, for instance, we'll click that. And then we just click on the map where we want to place it. We can write notes like upper northwest corner overlooking food plot. We can call this the fall feeder or whatever you want to name it. I'm not the most creative person.
Yeah, it doesn't really matter. It's just what the icons are and what they represent.
But yeah, you have feeders. You have you can put deer sightings. Your game cameras are ultra important because this is how you get them to be on your drop-down list to choose a game camera. You have to have them on the map. So like your feeders, your stands, and your game cameras, you want to put on the map. You don't necessarily have to draw your boundaries out of your property. You just need to zoom over the area of where these are and place them because I'm getting the GPS coordinates for that, and that's how I can look up the historical weather. So place the game camera. We can name it.
So we have game cameras, feeders. What else we have? Deer sightings.
Oh, yeah. We have food plots, water, your four-wheeler, a custom. If there is something on here that you want to add that's not, you
How
can
about bedding areas? Do you have bedding areas?
I don't. That would have to be a custom. I have tree stands, minerals, ground blinds, tree rubs, scrapes, ground blinds, okra fruit trees, box blinds, campsite. So there's like 14 or 15 of these.
Okay, so the only thing we don't have are the bedding areas.
That's right. We don't have the bedding areas. You could put the siding as your bedding area. That's probably what I would use.
Okay.
For
Could you
myself.
add another icon?
You could put the custom icon as your bedding. And of course, I can always add a bedding icon as well later. That
Yeah.
wouldn't be an issue.
The other thing, what's my north-south direction? How's this situated?
Oh, this is, if you can see my mouse, this is north. The way you're looking at it would be north and south is down and east and west to the left.
Is that
there's not a
indicated?
compass on here.
No compass?
No, there are GPS coordinates over here on this right-hand corner if you can see my mouse.
I see that. But I'm just thinking for the wind direction, so I pop it up and I want to know, okay, here's where I'm going to hunt, but here's north, south, or I'm inviting a friend and saying, you're going to hunt in the lower southeast corner, and, here's where your stand is. It's just, I'm just thinking out loud,
Mm-hmm.
the wind direction to me or a compass would be applicable because then I know the wind direction.
Oh, we could, but I mean, if you're looking at your weather and it's telling you a southeast wind, and up here is north, and this is south.
Yeah, I'd have to know that. I'd have to know that.
Yeah,
that's my only comment. I just have to know.
Sure.
That's there. Okay, great.
So those are your markers. Here's your drawing tools. If you want to add colors, if I want to erase it, I click eraser and I just double click on it and it's gone.
Sweet.
When I'm done with everything, I want to make sure and click save. It will auto save after a period of time, but always make sure and just click save. It just don't want to put a bunch of work in and accidentally lose it and have to redo it.
Yeah, you got that right.
And there's 4 different types of maps. So we're looking at a topography map with imagery. And the topography maps are good for all over the U.S., but they aren't good for Canada or Mexico or anywhere else in the world. But for the U.S., you have topography maps.
Great.
Now for the satellite and the hybrid map, that'll work anywhere in the world. So people in Canada and Mexico, etc., can use this platform. They just wouldn't be able to use the topography maps. And one other thing I should mention is you need to use Chrome, Safari, Microsoft Edge, Mozilla, or Firefox as your internet browser. You can't use Internet Explorer or like your Samsung internet on your Android phone. You would need to use your Chrome on your Android phone to utilize this. The maps just won't work on those browsers.
Okay, so stick with Chrome and you'll be pretty good.
Yeah, stick with Chrome or Safari if you're a Mac user and you're good.
All right.
Okay, so if you're part of a group and you have your club map and you're laying out where everybody's hunting, you might not necessarily want to put your stand or your feeders, if you're on a lease with a bunch of people, but you can at least identify boundaries or where everybody's hunting, etc. Now, there's a community forum so you can communicate with each other and find out, hey, who's going to the lease this weekend? Would you mind checking my stands and feeders? Reply. So it's just easy to communicate with everyone. The admin of the group has the ability to edit or delete these messages. So they're in charge of keeping this in order. If you want to create a new post, it's that simple. But this is just a way for everybody to kind of communicate. I know on some leases there's 10 or 20 guys, and 3 or 4 of them are good buddies, and they text each other on their phone, but they don't necessarily communicate with Joe and Bob that are out of Louisiana and Arkansas that come up, a few times out of the year. This way, everybody can kind of stay in contact and are all on the same page. And then you have game photos. So as earlier you saw, you can share game photos to a club. So this is all the shared photos to this club.
Yeah, that would be beneficial because then you can, take a census, how many bucks you have, and then you can start targeting bucks also.
Yes, sir. That's absolutely right. You can use these game photos to figure all that out, and then you can come down here and create this hit list. And through the use of the community forum, you can message each other and figure out what animals you want on your hit list. And when you add
which ones you want to call,
picture, you can write notes.
Yeah, if you want to call, if you want to have a hog weekend or whatever.
Mm-hmm. And then when you put your mouse over the picture, it'll have the notes displayed, kill all pigs on site. So these are just additional notes you can have with each one. And then, of course, you can delete them. If somebody's killed the animal, then take it off the hit list. Or if there's a disagreement with this animal and it's no longer be on the hit list, just delete it. Simple. Nutrition, if you share your records, with the group, this is really good for organizations or habitat managers, people that are trying to help others improve their land, their conservation efforts. This feature can really help them educate and help us all be better stewards. And so these records, you can get pretty detailed, as you saw earlier. You can add them just like you can on your private.
Earlier, it's just a different property, right?
That's right. This is just the group property. So these are all the records that have been shared to this group. And so by doing this, so the Hunt Club feature is basically a group management. It doesn't necessarily mean that you're hunting the same land. It can just be a platform where you're going in there with other hunters and you're sharing information to grow and to learn and to be better.
And if I was an outfitter, the group would be my leases. Each lease would be a group.
That's right. Yeah,
that's my thought.
On a lease,
that's my thought when you're thinking about selling these. This could be a management tool for outfitters to keep track of everything they're doing on that piece of property. So they can look at it and know the numbers and know the dates and know everything. I like it because of that, because there's a lot of apps out there, folks. There's a lot of great apps, that do a lot of things. This is, to me, a management tool to help you manage your property. That's why I wanted to dig deeper in this with Bryce today. Bryce, how much does this cost?
There are 3 packages. The general package that allows you to do everything you've seen is $24.99 plus tax for the year. And if you want to upgrade, basically the upgraded package is $59.99. And with that package, you can upload 4,000 game photos and you have the ability to post your lease or outfit for all the Hunter Site members to view. And then with the Safari package, you can upload 10,000 pictures with the ability to buy more pictures and post your lease or outfit to advertise.
And how much is the Safari package?
$99.99, $100 a year.
And where do they go to see that? If they're interested, say, hey, I'm interested more in this. What's your website?
The Hunter Site, SIGHT.com. So thehuntersite.com. And I can take you back to the main page, Bruce, before we end today.
And anything else you want to show us right now?
So, you've seen all these records before. This harvest data, same thing. If you're with a group of people, you can find what everybody's killed with your lease members. They're posted and shared here in this Hunt Club. As you can see, it looks like this temperature and wind is cut off, but it's simply, you just got to come down here and scroll over. And the reason is because this note section here is so long, that it pushed everything out over here to the right. So you just have to scroll over. If you're with a lease of guys and you're wanting to manage the age structure of bucks, this is perfect using this Harvest Trends, which basically just pulls off of your records that you've shared or added to the club. And this shows your group, your bucks percentage, what the age structure was, and your buck to doe ratio. And so for $25 a year, each person can manage their own properties. They can create groups. You can create as many groups as you want, and you can have as many properties as you want. The only holdback you have is the ability to upload game photos. So with the $24.99 package, you can upload 1,000 game photos.
And that's not many, if you're running a bunch of cameras.
Yeah, if you're running a bunch of cameras, you might have 200 or 300 pictures of this one particular buck, and then 400 pictures of another buck. 1,000 pictures can take care of a lot of the hunters. Now, if you're an outfitter or someone, you might want to upgrade to the Outfitter Safari package where you have 4,000 and 10,000 or more pictures. But for the average guy like myself, 1,000 pictures to use for game trends, because basically that is all the game photos are. Their ability to share with the hunt club, with the group, and for you privately is for you to figure out your patterns. So figure out the wind direction, time of day, and moon phase that buck is coming most frequent to that game camera.
That's great information. What else you got to share? We got about 10 more minutes before we got to wrap up.
So lease listings. So all members of the hunter sites are able to see lease postings, and they'll pop up right here. This is the information about the property that's up for lease. And if you want to respond to it, you just click on it, and it gives you the information of who to contact, and you just send them an email. Now, this is my opinion or how I would feel about it, but what I think this is great and separates this lease listing compared to other websites that strictly do this is, not only are you getting to do this for $24.99 a year, but with the Hunt Club feature, if you are a lease or an outfit, you're going to have your group management hunt club. And if I am looking to join a lease or join an outfit to hunt, of course I could go to their website, but how, updated are those pictures? How recent is that information? Or I could go to their hunt club and they invite me after I inquired about going to hunt, and I join their hunt club and I look at their portfolio that we just did. And as a prospect, I can go to their group and I can sit here and I can look at recent game photos they've uploaded. I can look at any nutrition records they want to share. I can look at who's killed what lately. I can see a hit list of animals on the target. And then I can see and decide for myself, I need to go hunt with that outfitter, or I want to join that lease. They have the same ideas or principles I do. And so, it kind of helps both parties to find a good fit. And let's see, what else should we talk about real quick? So I will go to my account real quick here before we leave. So this is what your account will look like. It gives you your name, support if you need to contact me with any questions. You can downgrade, upgrade packages here. You can update your billing information. You can get out of auto renew just with a click of a button. It tells you what your current subscription is, when you started, when it ends, and how much. And then this refer a friend, every member has their own referral code, which gives 10% off to whoever uses it in the coupon section. And in return, by them using your code, you get an extra 1,000 photos to use for your game trends. So it's a win-win for both parties.
Great. Yeah, this is impressive, and I like how you put it together. And, as I mentioned for Deer Hunting Institute, I think it's going to be a great tool for my members. And what promo code do we end up using? Because, the Deer Hunting Institute will be coming online soon, and we talked about getting a promo code. So if somebody's a member of Deer Hunting Institute, what promo code would they use?
Well, for 25% off, they can enter in capital DHI 2019 25, and that just is 25% off.
Okay.
So DHI 2019 25.
And what if somebody's an annual member? They just pay up front.
We can do a 50% discount, and that will be DHI 2019 50 for 50% off.
All right. So, folks, that'll be all coming online. There's a lot of things happening in the background for Deer Hunting Institute, but Bryce and I are joining up to give you an opportunity to get this tool, use this tool at a significant discount. And I want to thank Bryce for offering that to all Deer Hunting Institute members.
Yes, sir. No problem. I'm here to help and try and make a positive difference. And I really love the platform that you're coming out with, and I'm excited to join up with you.
Well, with that, we're going to thank Bryce Stone from the Hunter site for sharing on Whitetail Rendezvous Gear Wednesday about his new app. And take a listen, try it out for free. You get that 14-day free trial, or just get a hold of Bryce and say, what about this? What about that? Because one thing I found with apps is once a person starts using it, said, hey, have you thought about doing this? Have you thought about doing that? And together we can make a tool even better. So with that, thank you so much, Bryce, for being on the show today. You got a great product, and I'm happy that I was able to host you today.
Thank you, Bruce.
Thanks for joining us. Be sure to tune in tomorrow for another episode of Whitetail Rendezvous, where you can listen and learn from the experts so you can be more successful on your next hunt. Until next time, listen, learn, and succeed.